Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, it is another frosty morning here in the Ozarks, but it should be the last of it for a little while. Today it's supposed to be up in the upper 50s, and then tomorrow back in the 60s, maybe even the 70s by this weekend. So it's just a little cold snap that we had to just preparing us for what's to come. I know every year they predict the weather for a season, and it's usually wrong, but they're saying it's supposed to be a pretty good winter this year. So we will see what all that actually means. It just depends on which weather guy you listen to. Some of them say it's mild, some of them say it's going to be a bad one. President is still saying that the people are going to get $2,000 checks or $2,000 in dividend returns. You know, we were told back at the first of this, when he took office, that everyone was going to get $5,000 checks from the Doge, deal with Elon Musk, and they were cutting government, and that never panned out. He's also said that, well, now it's up to 20 or maybe $21 trillion of investment into the United States this year, which there's zero evidence of that whatsoever. That's something like a quarter of the world's GDP if you remove the United States. That's insane. We were talking, that's almost what the United States GDP is alone. And like I said, there's no evidence to it, so that's interesting. That most of the nations and companies that have pledged investments, that it's been like over long term. They're saying like over a decade we may invest this, or some of them are not even that they're making a pledge to invest new. They're just, saying, hey, we made an agreement over the last few years to do this much business with you, and so that's also being counted. Old agreements from the past few years. In fact, one of them that's being counted in this tally are business deals that were made back during President Trump's first term. So don't get too caught up in that hype. And like I said yesterday, if that $2,000 dividend rebate or whatever comes at you, I would suspect there's a good chance it might be in a digital format. So anyways, have you guys been watching what's been going on in England, the United Kingdom here lately? It's been going on for a while, but it's really kind of reaching a breaking point. In fact, a lot of people are saying it's very, very near a civil war. That either the British people are going to have to take one final last stand, or they're losing their nation, their freedom, their identity, everything. And what I'm speaking of is the amount of Islamic immigration that's happened in that country. It's overwhelming. In some places, it doesn't even look like a Western world anymore. It looks like it's the middle of some Pakistani, whatever. It's crazy. So I'm bringing that up because, last week everyone was in a big uproar, including the president, that New York elected a Muslim communist as the mayor, and there was a whole big uproar about that. Unusual, but the president during that campaign was very vocal. Usually presidents don't get involved in local elections. Yes, the city of mayor, the mayor of New York is definitely a major position, but it's still local. That's still a local election. But he got involved in it and was, making a lot of comments that, if the people in New York elected this guy, that there would be no federal funding sent to New York, which a lot of people are saying it's very illegal to do, that he can't say that, can't do that. All this kind of stuff because this guy was some communist Muslim. And what's interesting is yesterday, the president himself at the White House hosted one of the considered the world's worst when it comes to Islamic terrorists. This guy, he's now the president of Syria. But just a year ago, he was on the FBI's most wanted list, had a $10 million bounty on his head. This guy was an Al-Qaeda operative. There's photographs of him holding human heads. This guy has killed Christians and Americans and all kinds of stuff. I mean, he ranks up there as one of the worst of the worst, right? But, I mean, is he some type of CIA operative that we placed into power? It looks that way. And so now he's paraded around in the White House as a friend. And yesterday it was said that now, because of all this, Syrian military, get this, the Syrian military will now be doing joint operations with the United States Special Operations Forces that are being used to rout out extremists in the ISIS organization. So, I mean, who better to take out ISIS than ISIS themselves, Oh, this is crazy, folks. I know, but the president also said yesterday, again, he said it again, he said it in the past, that we're going to be bringing in 600,000 Chinese college students, 600,000. I mean, so far, there's not been a real good record of Chinese college students coming into this country that have not turned out to be spies, some type of government operatives for the Chinese government. But we're going to be bringing in 600,000 Chinese college students, and now working out this type of deal and association with Syria, especially with this terrorist that they have for president. Who knows what type of deal is going to be worked out for people coming into this country from that region. The point, and I know that there's going to be people say that, oh, you're some bigoted, hateful, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I have been called far too many things, and I'm sure much worse, so I really don't care. Among the many reasons that we are losing this nation, one of them is this Islamic extremism that's being allowed to be brought into this country and normalized. It's just a few years ago that this would not have happened and people would not have accepted it. 20 years ago, people were still saying not to forget September 11th and all that kind of stuff, although the truth of September 11th is different, and it's not as much related to Islamic terrorism as you think, but still, there was a lot of that. And now we have extremists, Islamic extremists, in very high places in this government, in Congress, and the mayor of New York. I mean, one of the biggest political positions in the country. We're inviting very dangerous, well-known terrorists into the White House. There was video yesterday of this guy on the streets of Washington, D.C., looking like the president, walking and waving, and all the people on the side of the road waving, Syrian flags. You know what's really going on? This is what I've been telling. This is all part of this proxy war stuff, because Russia had a real stronghold in Syria, and the previous president of Syria was a Russian operative, was a Russian sympathizer, and so this was a way to kind of stick it to Russia. But the end result is that we are allowing this type of virus into the country. This terrorist extremist into the country, this type of ideology. It's normalizing it. It's making it okay. It's not just the left that does this. You know, if Joe Biden did this, some people would say that would be expected coming from Joe Biden, a far lefty. And then the conservative Republicans would be just losing their minds. But now Trump is doing it. And I could probably guarantee and have a good idea of what you will think of that. But what's the strong MAGA supporters? How is this 5D chess, folks, that we're allowing and normalizing, legitimizing one of the more evil people in this world that's murdered many people and commanded units that murdered tens of thousands of people? And we are normalizing and legitimizing this guy by having him sit in the Oval Office with the President of the United States. And then now saying that we're going to do, you know, our special forces, special operations units are going to be doing joint military operations with them. I keep saying that we're losing our country. At some point, I'm going to have to start saying we have lost our country. We have lost it. I'm not quite sure I'm ready to say that, but it may be time. It's getting there, that's for sure. You know, it's this same thing I keep telling you every day, keep preparing and all that, yada, yada, yada. But you got to really start getting yourselves mentally geared up for this new future, this golden age. You know, we've talked for years, you and I, on here about, you know, the Agenda 2030, the Great Reset stuff. We're getting not too far away, folks. We're talking like 4 years away. These next 4 years is going to be some wild times, regardless of who's in office. Because they've got a lot of things to do to start meeting those goals. That's why things are moving so fast now. Mentally, you better be ready for the stuff that you're going to see. There's going to be things that's happening that you're going to think is good and they're going to be bad, and vice versa. It's going to challenge and test your faith. Because this is, in the end, it's spiritual warfare is what we're experiencing. I mean, we're watching the physical manifestations of it. But in the end, it's spiritual warfare. And so, yeah, you need to have your stockpiles of food, and you need to have your skills, and you need to have your tribe, and all of these things. But you need to be spiritually and mentally ready for what we're going to be dealing with, what we already are. I mean, we're just seeing glimpses, you know, a little bit here and there, and it's picking up speed, but still a little here and there of what it's going to be like over the next few years. And you better be ready for that, because the world is changing at a very rapid pace, and it's not changing in a good way, folks. You need to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching.
Hey
Catch you in the next one.
Thank you, Travis, for letting me hop into one of your videos here. I am Sarah, the soap lady that Travis talks about all the time. Some of you guys actually know me in person from coming to the meetings and interacting with me. And some of you guys actually have already, know me through my channel and orders and stuff like that. So I just wanted to take a moment and thank you guys for all the love and support. I mean, whether you're not buying, but maybe you're over there on my YouTube channel, Grafted in Grace Homestead, and commenting and liking and sharing videos, or you're actually ordering through the store at Grafted in Grace Creations. I just wanted to take this time as we get closer to closing out the year and everybody starts to get busy to stop and thank you guys, because without you, the YouTube channel and the store really just wouldn't exist. So because the bulk of everything started with the prepared homestead, I wanted to at least come in and give you guys a personal message and also let you know it is that time of year where we're going to have the big year-end sale. So if you use grafted 20 instead of grafted 15, it will get you 20% off your order at the end of, for the next, well, I think we're gonna run it till about the second week of December. So if you go ahead and put your order in now, that way I can get everything done before the post office and everybody just comes to a grinding halt. I know last year we had some issues where USPS decided to punt kick everybody's packages to them. A lot of stuff got broken, so I've actually switched over my provider this year to UPS in hopes to maybe we cut down on some of that. But I did want to just come in and thank you guys and say how much I appreciate you and love the support. Even if you're not buying stuff, you know, just the feedback, the commentary, the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all of that, I really do appreciate you. So thank you so much for all you have done. And from my homestead to wherever you are, thank you. Please stay warm and I hope to see you next time.